Hello, and welcome to Zebedextra v. Phoebe. So on this episode, we're actually going to review 9 episodes of TV shows that we have watched. We're going to give you our review of them and let you know whether it's worth your time or not to watch these.
So we just have one of these episodes a month. So this is May's edition, and these are 9 new TV shows that we have not talked about yet on this channel.
Correct.
And lots of times I like to pick things that are like heavily marketed that you've probably been wondering about. So some of those will be like that.
Yes.
So would you like to start us out, Tim?
I will. The first one I wanted to discuss was the Rookie Feds.
Okay.
This is, I don't know if anybody's a big Nathan Fillion fan. I personally am. I enjoyed him in Castle. I enjoyed him in The Rookie. Cats? Was he
the
in
live
Cats?
action remake.
Was he really?
No.
Oh my goodness. I was like, no, now he just went down a peg. Anyhow, so I enjoy his shows for the most part. Everything basically since
Serendipity?
No.
Is that the name of it?
Serenity. and also Firefly.
Yeah.
One's a movie, one's a show.
So everything.
Yeah, pretty much. So I really enjoyed him in those. I was expecting, I don't know why I was expecting this. I was expecting him to be one of the FBI agents. I thought he was getting promoted to
Didn't
FBI.
we know that he wasn't, though?
Apparently, I did not.
Okay, this is a Niecy Nash show, and
Yes.
it's a takeoff from the Rookie show, which is about LA cops.
Right, LAPD.
And this is about the LA faction of the FBI.
Correct.
Okay.
And so, Nathan Fillion does guest star in it. Niecy
He
Nash,
has like 2 lines.
He does have just a few cameos with just a few lines. I will say, Niecy Nash is a huge personality, right? She's big personality. When I found out that it wasn't based around Nathan Fillion's character, I was a little depressed.
Depressed?
That's
a strong word.
It was. I was like, oh, man. But, I will say, after watching the episode and, giving it a chance, I enjoyed the show. It's definitely one I will watch more of.
Not me.
Okay.
So you can watch that one by yourself.
I got you. So it's. I would definitely try more of it, especially towards the end. The Niecy Nash's character started to mesh in with the team, and I like that. So I would say give it a try. It was fun.
If you didn't watch the episode of The Rookie, like if you liked The Rookie show, but you didn't watch all the episodes and you didn't see the one where Niecy Nash comes in and her character is introduced, and also the other FBI character, the actor guy.
Right.
If you didn't see that episode like me, part of this show is kind of confusing because there's not that groundwork for you to understand the motivations of the characters. So that made it less interesting for me, but also we watched so many shows like this. Specifically for this review, we watched like a bunch of spy stuff. And I felt that all of them were better than this one.
Yeah, but this isn't spy stuff. This is something different.
Well, so what I'm saying is like the intrigue, solving a case, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Because, we've been watching Will Trent, and we've been watching...
I like Will Trent better.
Midsummer Murders.
Well, I've been watching Midsummer Murders. Okay, so we're going to keep it snappy. We're going to move along.
Go ahead.
Tim says, go for it.
I say yay.
She
said
no.
nay.
And I didn't dislike it, and I really like Niecy Nash, but compared to all the other stuff we watched, it wasn't a fave. Okay, I'm going to talk about Queen Charlotte. This is on Netflix.
Queen Charlotte. That was an
I think you even liked it, didn't you?
I definitely did watch it.
So this is an offshoot of the Bridgerton. There's been 2 seasons of Bridgerton shows on Netflix. This show is a limited series. There's not as many episodes. I think there's like 6, specifically about Queen Charlotte, and it jumps back and forth between where she's at currently in the timeline and when she first became queen, and you kind of find out more about her motivations and her backstory. We only watched 1 episode. The premise of this show on our channel is we only watch one episode and decide if we think it's worth watching more. So I found that this show was not a letdown in the fact that it feels very similar to the other episodes. So the things that you liked about the first other seasons are consistent here. So you've got great camera work, you've got beautiful costuming, design, the scenery, like everything is so beautiful. You've got the great music and you've got some good storytelling.
Yes.
I can tell you I've read most of the first like 8 Bridgerton books, which are about the different siblings. Queen Charlotte plays almost no role in those books at all. So there's no like foundation in the literature that I've read. So I think that this is mostly a Shonda Rhimes and her writing team creation of this character. And I think that they do a good job.
Now, they do mention at the beginning that this is their adaptation on...
the Queen Charlotte character.
Yes, yeah. They do go out of their way to make sure that you understand that this isn't like, historical docudrama, that it's actually their take on things. So... Yeah.
So would you watch another episode, or should I watch it without you?
So here's my thing. I enjoyed what I saw of it. My biggest problem, and I think you know where I'm going with this, I prefer some linear dialogue, some linear method of moving the movie forward or the show forward. This one kind of bounced back and forth so much. I kept going, who are we looking at?
That's true, he was, but...
Who's talking now?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is an old lady now. Who is the old lady? You're like, that's the queen. I was like, a minute ago, she was 18.
Were you actively watching this show, or were you kind of watching and kind of not?
I was more watching than not.
Okay.
I was. We have watched the other Bridgertons together. And I enjoyed...
Those ones didn't bounce around as much, huh?
They did not bounce around. And I've enjoyed those more, watching those. Having said that, this wasn't a bad show. It was just a little confusing.
So maybe it just takes a little bit for you to get used to that actress and just know that they're the same
right.
person.
Not only that, but maybe pay a little more attention than I was.
Okay, so I recommend. Do you recommend?
I would recommend it.
Okay, cool. What would you like to do next? How about this one?
I can't see that.
The Outlaws.
The Outlaws.
It was on Amazon Prime.
I don't remember that one.
That's the one you suggested, where it's a bunch of people who are doing community service.
Oh yes, so we've got what, like six people that are doing community service. 6 or 7 people. They're all there for various reasons.
So instead of serving jail time, they're going to clean up this building in London.
The community center. There's a
maybe not London, somewhere in
Bristol.
Bristol.
Bristol. Okay. So they're in Bristol. They're doing their community service. I can't think of the guy's name.
The known actor?
Yeah.
The guy from More Cowbell.
Yeah.
It's got to have more cowbell.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken.
Wow.
Okay.
So it has Christopher Walken in it. He's probably the biggest named star in it. And it was kind of like the tale of all the different sides of society, and
many different.
Yeah, many different sides of society, and it was a little goofy. And I'll be quite honest, I'm not sure I would watch more. I might try one more.
I might watch one more. That's where I'm at too.
Yeah, because I want to see if maybe they pick it up somehow.
Well, so in the preview, they suggest that this crew of people, they're all going to do this like heist together or something.
Yes.
They don't do that at all in the first episode.
They set it up.
They do?
They do set it up. The young guy that steals all the money at the end of that episode from the drug dealers, he hides it in the community center, and they show in like the preview that that's where they find it. They find all this money. So they've set set the stage for it, so I might check that out again.
I think that we have other ones that we haven't watched the second episode of that I'd rather watch instead.
I agree.
But it was good. It's a little funny, a little goofy, like Tim says. It's serious because there's like bad guys chasing some of these people. So, I mean,
yeah, and the one kid's trying to keep his sister out of trouble, and and you got the girl who's
there's like the studious, like good daughter person, but she's like a kleptomaniac and
an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah. So this is on Prime if you want to check it out.
Yep.
Didn't hate it, but it's not
Didn't
like my
hate
favorite
it,
thing.
But I wasn't. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Okay.
I would say check it out, and if you like it, keep watching it. If you don't.
You know what we should do on these episodes is we should have a tier where we put which ones we liked next to each other.
Oh.
Maybe I'll insert it right now where we're at.
Yeah, just
okay.
This is where it ranked.
Here's our tier, but I'm gonna split it down the middle so that we can have our different.
And then put it right here, so
on our faces.
Yeah, on mine, so only you show up.
Okay.
And you can here's the tier.
No, I think that's
Tim
confusing.
tier.
I'll put your tier on your face and my tier on my face.
Okay.
Okay, the next one I'm gonna talk about is The Diplomat. This one's on Netflix. So far, Netflix is doing a good job in this episode because I've liked both of them from Netflix. So The Diplomat stars Carrie
Underwood?
No. Carrie Walker?
Carrie Ann Narborough?
It's the girl from, now this is gonna be a flashback for you, but Honey, I Blew Up the Kid?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
No, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
There was a blow up one?
Yeah.
Did he make them large?
He made the one kid large.
Okay. I was like, what do you mean he blew up the kid?
So she's from that TV show Felicity. She was also in Mission Impossible 3 or 4. Anyway, so this is about these two diplomats. They're these married diplomats. And there's a husband and a wife. And he's always the one being called on diplomatic missions, right? And she's kind of like the support character.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, their roles are reversed. And by the way, this show happens really fast.
Yes, it does.
And so now all of a sudden she's being called by Washington to go to, is she going to England?
She
again?
Goes to England, yes.
And she...
Apparently there's a lot of trouble in England.
Well, England is a really interesting place.
It is. It looks beautiful.
In this show, this portion of our channel, we don't want to give too many spoilers, so I don't really want to tell you what happens. But it's kind of like a role reversal for her, where now all of a sudden she's taking this bigger portion into their relationship in the more public eye. And she's being manipulated by people politically, and she doesn't really know. And then what's the husband going to do? He's kind of a stinker, and he might mess stuff up, so...
Yeah.
And then it's in England,
stinker,
and they're...
Though?
Yeah, he's kind of a stinker.
We're going to call him a stinker?
He's super sus. So,
sus I could go with, yes.
They are going to live in this beautiful, big...
I'm going to get you a t-shirt made that says he's a stinker.
He's a stinker. That needs to be your t-shirt, actually. So there's also beautiful architecture, scenery.
Yes.
It's really pretty.
Yes.
But then they leave you on a cliffhanger at the end of the episode, and I was like, no, this is going to be another one. We're waiting for 3 weeks to watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
So did you like the show?
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I liked it too.
In fact, the worst part was like we go through so many episodes, like I forget sometimes of what I want to watch.
Yeah.
And like as you started to describe it, I was like, oh yeah, I want to see what happens.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the fourth one. What's number 5? What are you
Number 5? I'm gonna go out on a limb here with the Big Door Prize. It's on Apple. It's on Apple, and it stars the guy from the IT Crowd, and he plays a history teacher who can whistle.
Yes.
And
astounding.
Yeah, and like he is really kind of in a funk throughout this whole episode.
He's a little bit it seems like he's having a midlife crisis.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a machine that shows up in the general store in the beginning of the show. And this machine tells you your life's potential. And, as all the prognostication machines are known, people think they're kind of hokey, kind of a hoax. Um, but people are getting like really good ones. And the whole way through this episode, he refuses to get his done. Um, but everybody else in town's getting theirs done, and they're altering their life based on this card that they get. And at the end of this episode, he finally goes and gets his card, and he reads it. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. And we know that his wife, she can also whistle, which kind of throws him off because he thinks he's the only whistler in the family.
Is this a joke?
No, it was actually in there.
Way over my head.
It was actually in there because at one point she whistles, and he's like, "Wait, you can whistle too?"
Yeah, but that was like a joke. Because everybody can whistle. Put down in the comments if you can whistle.
Put down in the comments if you cannot whistle.
Yeah, we need to see.
You also see that his wife has gotten a card, but you don't see what hers is.
Yeah, so they leave you on that cliffhanger where...
So you find out what his is, but you don't find out what hers is.
And you can tell that there's some marital...
issues.
Disconnection happening.
Yeah.
And do his kids, have the kids got cards yet?
Yeah, I think so.
They did?
I think so.
So anyway, I was not very intrigued by this show.
I tend to agree with you.
Chris O'Dowd, that's the actor's name.
Yeah. I agree with you. I would check one more out. I would check one more.
Yeah.
Just to see if it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
it's got to go somewhere.
It has the opportunity to go anywhere. But does it take that opportunity, or does it kind of stall?
Yeah.
You know? Because I felt it stalling through the first episode, so...
And generally, I find Chris O'Dowd, like, a really likable...
Yes.
Like, I feel like I can relate to him in, like, a goofy way in most of the stuff he's in.
Yes.
And just in this, maybe just because he was, like, depressed in his life or
and
what.
And I think that was the same thing with me, because when I think of him like on the IT Crowd, where he's kind of more upbeat, he's a little more peppy,
But he's also very pessimistic in that show.
That is true.
But just like his delivery, I think in this show, he's meant to literally look like he's sleeping through his life.
Yes.
He looked tired. He just looked... They were trying to say he was turning 40. I was like, this guy is not turning 40. There's no way. And then I looked it up, and he's not that much older than 40. But he looked old. And I was like, this guy. Yeah. So, I don't know. I would watch another episode.
I mean, I don't look like I'm about to turn 40 either.
I know, but... Got to get you in a TV show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this was on Apple Plus. I would give it another episode, but this is kind of lower in my tier.
Yeah, definitely a lower tier item. I would put it in probably the bottom 4.
And the way I heard about this, I think, is I read an article and it was like hidden gems you should be streaming right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was kind of expecting this to be
a little more upbeat.
Okay. The next one I'm going to talk about is... I'm going to talk about Mrs. Davis. This is on Peacock.
Mrs. Davis.
This is the wackiest show that we saw this time. So I saw a preview for this. I kept seeing the preview on Peacock. You keep seeing this woman in a nun's outfit. You see her on this horse doing like where the horse is like, what's that called? Bucking or? No, bucking is when they lift their hind legs. It's like rearing up. So you see this nun and you see that she's going to like be doing some awesome action stuff. And then you also see that she's fighting against AI. And that's the basis of what you know in the preview. So we watched one episode. And this show is kind of wacko bananas, similar to the movie that we just watched that's coming up in our next review.
Yeah.
So, yes, she's a nun, but she also has like this thing where she's fighting against con artists. And then there's this AI presence that really wants to get a hold of her, but she hates it because there's something with a family member that it's destroyed or something. So she doesn't want to have anything to do with it, but it's kind of destroying her life because she's refusing to talk to it.
Yes. And
then that's kind of where the cliffhanger ends there. And I'm intrigued. Yeah. It was a wacky show though. Be prepared that it's kind of like Everything Everywhere All at Once, like a little bit like that.
I can see what you're saying.
Like bright, loud in your face, and a lot of weird stuff happening.
Yeah. I agree. This one was wacky for me, but it was wacky intriguing. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, where could they go from here, you know?
The other problem with this show is it jumps back and forth between two different timelines, and that confused Tim at first because he thought that they were the same actress. He was like, what is going on here?
And when we say different timelines, we're talking 1370 to today. And I was like, wait, is that the same actress? Was she supposed to have been alive through the whole thing or what?
Yeah, that was confusing for a little bit.
Especially given the topic at the time.
So, I'll watch another episode.
I would definitely.
It's like kind of in my middle upper of my tier.
Yeah, I would agree too.
Are we kind of same on our tier?
Same on the tier so far.
You're such a stinker.
What? The other one that we watched is called The Chow House, CIAO. And it has Alex Gurnishelli?
No idea.
Okay. ACG. Anyhow, so the premise is they take all these people to, was it Tuscany?
It looked like it.
So it's an Italian village. They take them all to this Italian manor house. And the premise of it's a cooking show.
It's on Discovery Plus.
It is on Discovery Plus. And, you know, like any of the Discovery Plus cooking shows, it's a competition. Like, they get there and the first day, boom, somebody goes home. I enjoyed this because I enjoy food. I don't even have to eat it. Like, I've found like some of the foods that I like being watched, when I go to eat it, I'm like, I don't know about that. But watching them prepare the food and go through it and go through the competition is, you know, that's a big thing for me. I really enjoy it. So I would suggest if you're a foodie or if you like food and competition shows, check it out. It's a fun time.
As for me, I really like reality shows, competition shows. I love Top Chef. This one's kind of middle to bottom of my tier.
Oh, really?
I liked it. I will watch another episode, but I'm not like hyped to watch another episode.
I actually put it higher than that. I would put it higher.
Okay.
Mid to upper tier.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, the next one that we're going to talk about is Citadel. And Citadel is on Prime. This show has...
Is that the one with Rob Stark?
Yeah, it has Rob Stark from Game of Thrones. And it has that actress whose name is so fun to say. She's married to Nick Jonas.
Oh,
Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me, because I was like, that's so embarrassing. I love to say her name and I can't think of it. So they play these two spies.
Yes.
But they work for an organization that's not something that's in our world currently.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So there's two spies.
It's called the Citadel.
Without giving away too much, they're on a mission. Something happens so that he loses his memory, and it shows a great deal of time passing.
About 8 years.
And he finally, through events, learns about his past life, and he's brought in from Stanley Tucci's character to do spy work again.
Correct.
Because they've like lost all their operatives.
Yes.
And so he's like, well, who is this woman I keep having these memories of? And they're about to go, like, see if they're going to meet up again, is where they leave us on the end of the first episode.
So at the end of the first episode, she is still dead in their minds.
Oh, they think she's dead.
They think she's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so at the very end of the episode, you see her again.
Yeah, you see her again.
Okay, so what did you think? You gonna watch another one of this?
Absolutely, I enjoyed that one.
So I didn't like this as much as The Recruit, but I think I liked it a little bit better than The Night Agent.
Sorry, which one's The Recruit?
The Recruit's the one we watched the whole thing of, where there's a Russian spy that he has to help. He keeps going back and forth to Phoenix. We watched that whole season.
Oh yeah, did we watch that whole thing?
Yeah. And then there was The Night Agent, where he's on the telephone waiting to get a phone call. So these are all spy shows.
Yeah, we watched a lot of spy shows lately.
There's The Citadel, and this is on Amazon Prime, so it's not a Netflix competition show. It seems like Netflix puts up a lot of the same kind of thing, but this is on Prime. And so, yeah, we liked it. I thought that it was good acting. Stanley Tucci's in it, so that's always great.
Yeah.
So... I wouldn't put it at my very top.
I wouldn't either, and I think it would be because of Rob Stark.
You didn't like Rob Stark?
I think his acting was a little
stale,
a little subpar.
Okay,
yeah.
Well. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so there's one left. Another spy show. This is True Lies.
True Lies.
Which you can find on Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus.
It's a CBS show.
So, for anybody who's seen the movie True Lies...
Which I have never seen it.
Right. So, I'm telling her she's got to go watch it. So, basically the premise of this show is the husband is a spy.
Mm-hmm.
The wife is a homemaker. She's also in this movie, or I'm sorry, TV show. She's also working at a college, and she just kind of leads a humdrum life. She's feeling kind of stale in their relationship, and he just seems really humdrum because he is a computer salesman, always out at conferences. But it turns out, and you find this out in the opening scene, he's actually a spy for Omega. And why do they all come up with weird names?
Because they probably, like, for legality reasons, they can't use.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know. Anyway.
Anyhow, so he's a spy. He also works at this place selling computers, but they're a front for this spy organization. And if you've watched the movie True Lies, it has a similar setup. So it's not 100% because they're making that into a TV series rather than being just a 2-hour movie. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. I would definitely check out more of it. At least one episode.
So before the end of the first episode, she gets pulled into the spy action. So you get to see that she's actually kind of capable.
Right. So she becomes part of Omega as well. Like I said, if you watched the movie, there's the similarities there. If you haven't watched the movie, I would suggest go watching the movie. It's an older movie, probably 2000s.
Maybe it doesn't hold up that well anymore. It's not 2000s. It's from the early 90s.
Is it 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Jamie Lee Curtis was in it when she was young.
She wasn't that young. She was middle-aged. So, yeah, I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It was fun. I would definitely watch some more. I would probably put it midway, slightly higher.
Mine's like probably right mid. I might watch another episode of Chow House before I watch this one.
I would definitely watch another episode of Chow House.
Yeah. We need more cooking shows.
You know what I need is more TVs.
I thought you were going to say more TV shows. I was like, what?
No, I don't need more TV shows. I need more TVs so I can set up.
How could you watch multiple shows at the same time?
How can you stitch?
Well, you're not paying attention to a stitching narrative while you're watching a narrative on TV.
I've got 2 ears.
Anyway, that is our summary of 9 new shows for you to check out this May. Hopefully it helped you decide what you need to know about these shows and if you want to spend any time on them.
Hopefully it did.
If there's anything that you want us to check out, please leave it in the comment section below. And make sure to leave a comment. It really helps out our channel.
Yes, it does.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And happy viewing.
I think I'm going to go through and just start just putting first.
Okay, good idea.
On all of them.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Yep.
Bye.
Happy May.